The San Jose Sharks fall in overtime to the Vegas Golden Knights. I am not AJ Strong. I am not Hockey Jerk. I am a jerk, but I'm not Hockey Jerk. It is Teal Town After Dark. But as always, if you want to be part of the show, you can join us on all the social media. You can talk to us in the super chat. You can do all the normal stuff that you do. Again, I am not AJ Strong. I apologize for that. I am not the Hockey Jerk. I also apologize for that. However, I am Ian Vlogs Hockey. I am here with Jules, and we are going to break down this game normally. Just to start, AJ is on the IR. We hope to see him back as soon as he's ready, and our thoughts are with him. Hi, Jules.
What's up? Fun game.
I thought so. I mean, this team is way more fun than the Barracuda.
We're not going to talk about the Barracuda.
Are we?
We don't talk about them.
We don't talk about them anymore?
No, we can, but it's not as fun. I mean, I think they've come back in every game this road trip except for the Devils and the Boston game.
Yeah.
So, who is this team?
I don't know. It's
and
fun
they're also
because
so banged up right now.
And they are, yeah. That's the craziest thing. They are. This team is the most injured I think I've ever seen a Sharks team. Has there ever been a Sharks team that has been this banged up?
I think they have a whole line out. You could probably put Duclair, Couture, and Eklund on a line together. An entire top line is out for them right now.
Oh, Ruben's already hitting me up here. He's Ruben's AJ's not on the show. Ian's going to get it. Hey, Ian, Mario Ferraro opened the scoring in the opening minutes of the game. Care to comment? I mean, look at when the Sharks do good, it's good. Yeah, I mean, that's the interesting thing, right? Apparently the Sharks circling the wagons on Mario Ferraro, other teams calling about Ferraro. That kind of surprises me. I think that I don't know. Mario Ferraro is not my favorite Sharks defenseman. I think that I don't know. I just don't think he's very good. Maybe he's just playing in situations that are maybe above his skill level. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm happy to see him score.
A little.
Yeah, he was kind of thrown to the Wolves a little. And then we kind of all blamed Brent Burns for everything.
I mean, yeah, I think Ferraro was thrown to the Wolves. I like Ferraro. I mean, I think this year you're starting to see the offense kind of come for him just a little more than it used to. But he's also playing way above. He should not be a top pairing defenseman. I don't think I'm saying anything out of line here.
I don't think so.
And I think for a good return on Ferraro, I think we covered this a few shows ago. You're either getting a B round prospect or maybe a 4th or 5th round pick, or a 3rd rounder or 2nd rounder for a C prospect. But anything other than that, he's a young defenseman. It's not worth trading him, Yeah,
and I think that's the thing that I struggle with Mario Ferraro, right? Because as much as maybe he's not my favorite Sharks defenseman, he's young. I mean, he's still a young guy. I still think he has room to grow a little bit, but I don't know. I wonder if sometimes there's a few players on this team where it's they're young, but would a change of scenery maybe be what the doctor ordered for the player individual? At least I think that he is in that.
I think
category.
That's what Greer is looking at right now, to maybe change up the scenery for Ferraro. And not gonna lie, Greer has earned my trust with some of the trades he's made recently.
Sure.
So I think maybe a change of scenery for Ferraro, but we're not just gonna give him away for a bag of pucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think his value is that low, but I don't know if I see how he fits into the future with the Sharks, especially with the defensive prospect pool that they have coming up.
They have just a glut of defense. They have so many defensemen. They McDonald's continuing to play forward. They have so many defensemen.
Yeah, and a year ago I would never have said that about the prospect pool, but I think Greer has done a good job, especially with the defensive side of it, bringing in new talent that I don't know if Ferraro necessarily fits in. You know what I mean? But this might just be my opinion, and people can come at me if I'm wrong. But that's my thing. I don't know if he fits in with the future right now.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, he does. Yeah, I mean, Dave in the chat saying he can grow at 3.3 million somewhere else. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, like, there
That's
is
so
that.
valid. Yeah.
There definitely is that. I think he's paid to be a guy who's like, I just think he plays higher in the lineup than he probably should. So yeah, so the Sharks, I mean, they open the scoring in this game, and then Vegas kind of takes over. What were your thoughts early on in this game?
I liked how the Sharks came out. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
first off, what a shot by Ferraro. Like, damn.
Yeah.
But like I like how the Sharks came out, and then it seems like Vegas kind of it seems like a lot of teams right now kind of snooze out on the opening with the Sharks, and then like 5 minutes into the game they're like, oh shit, and they wake up. And I think Vegas slowly started to take over the game, and you've seen this with like every single comeback recently. Like the first 5 minutes the team is in full control, then the other team wakes up, and I think Vegas just started to get the hang of it again and be like, oh, we're playing the Sharks, we know how to beat them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like the start. Then they kind of fell off. Took some dumb penalties, kept on taking penalties. Like one team like the other, the coup to do the same thing. So yeah, I mean, it was a good start. And then again, the better team kind of just took over.
What did you think of the play? The goal, was it Marchessault's goal? Where
Are you talking about the Henry Thrun 2-on-1?
Yeah.
I get what Thrun was trying to do. I just don't think he executed it well.
Yeah, like I know I was really harsh on Twitter at first because I think the angle that I saw the play from, like, I thought Addison was more in that play than he probably was. So I'm like, what are you doing? I don't know. It's hard, right? Because like I've kind of turned on it a little bit. Like I'm not as harsh as I initially was when I first saw it. When I first saw it, I was like, what in the hell are you doing? I
mean, all of the D-men today were just sliding on 2-on-1s. Like,
yeah,
I think if you were doing a drinking game and taking a shot after every single slide, you'd be pretty wasted right now.
Yeah, there was a lot of starfish tonight.
But like, I don't know. I get what he was trying to do. Again, he's a young D-man. I'm not going to go off. Like, he's going to be good for us. But like, it was just a bad execution, I think, on Thrun's.
Yeah, I don't like, I mean, I agree. Like, cause I know I was brought up on Twitter. It's like, well, you want to you don't want to screen the goalie either. Like, you want Kakkonen to make that save, and that's a save Kakkonen needs to make. But yeah, I mean, like, so I think Kakkonen needs to make a save there. I think he was fine tonight.
I don't know. Capo has been playing really well for the Sharks. Also, like
both goalies have actually been surprisingly good. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like the time and space that he had, but I understand what Thrun was doing there. I've kind of softened on it. I was really upset when the goal happened, but I've kind of softened on it as I've watched that replay a dozen.
I think it was just a young D-man kind of trying to figure out what to do in that case, and I think Hedeken also touched on that during the second intermission of the broadcast. So like, I don't know. Starfish, whatever that was, whatever you want to call it. I get what he was trying to do though.
Yeah. Marchessault always kills the Sharks. If he's not there, maybe this rivalry is not as one-sided as it is now. Yeah.
It's okay. They'll pick him up in free agency.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I'm kidding. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, I don't know. It was fine. I agree. I thought the Sharks did take a lot of dumb penalties, and I thought they were really playing with fire for a while there. Vegas was kind of out of sorts a lot of this game too, though. I think that they played last night, so there was that too. I think that definitely played a factor to their slow start.
But the power play at the beginning was just awful for Vegas. Like I was like, this is not normal. Like typically the Vegas power play is just cycling.
Right. Yeah.
I think it took them a bit to get going there.
Yeah. So it's. I don't know. Like I thought the Sharks played okay. I thought in the second, I think things started to turn. Like it really felt by like the end of the second period that like Vegas was gonna, and JD Young said this on Twitter. Like it felt like a situation where Vegas was gonna come out for the first 5 minutes and just put the game away and then just get some martinis on the bench.
I mean, I think they came out with the third with that idea, but I think the Sharks have proven you can't really put this team away right now.
This team is so much more fun than the Barracuda. Like, I hate that I'm so sour on the Barracuda right now. We will definitely touch on the Barracuda later. Like, this team, like, Sharks hockey this week was a ton of fun. I know, like, people are going to be upset because, like, the points are starting to accumulate, and that's obviously not really good to the end result that we're looking for the season. But like, I don't know, man. Like, I
That
had a lot
Pittsburgh
of
pick
fun.
will make it all worth it. I promise you that.
Ugh. I'm worried about
But
them too. I don't think they could be in the lottery
well, then it's unprotected in
in
2025.
2025. That's true, but then we don't know what's going to
But
happen in 2025. That's
yeah,
it's a mixed bag, right? Because I feel like if you can get the Penguins to like if the Penguins miss the playoffs, but they're like a top team, so they're not, you're picking anywhere between like 11 and whatever. I think that's not a terrible place for the Sharks to be. I feel like the Sharks can get like obviously they're going to pick in the top 3 coming this year.
yeah.
Unless if this becomes like this winning becomes a thing, and the Sharks just like go on
Sharks
a
are
run.
making the playoffs, though. I'm kidding.
Yeah, like I
Yeah,
don't think
no.
there's gonna be like anything crazy like that. But like, unless the Sharks like make this a thing and they start, realizing that they can score goals at the beginning of the game too, they don't have to wait till they're down. Like, then maybe we can get a little worried about the draft. But I feel like they're gonna get like they're gonna get a good player in the top 3.
Yeah.
And then
Also,
like I
Chris
feel
is
like
saying something. The deadline. I think Greer is just at this point bumping up these guys' trade value and shipping them out.
yeah.
Guys,
I don't think there's any. I don't think there's any situation where like the Sharks change direction where they think, oh, maybe we're a team. Like I don't foresee that
Also, whenever you
happening.
can get a guy from Boston, Greer's gonna go ahead and get a guy from Boston.
That's true.
So
But like I feel like I don't even know what I was saying anymore. Oh, I feel
sorry.
like the
That was
Sharks
my
are going to
fault.
get a good player. Like obviously they're going to get a player at the top of the draft. But I feel like if you can get a Penguins pick between like 11 and 15 ish, like you can get a really good D man there too. I
Yeah,
know the
there's a
Sharks
lot
are
of.
kind of
I
flush
know
with
Adam
D
Yurchek.
prospects
Hopefully,
right now, but I feel like you can get a really really good another really good D prospect in that range. So I'm curious to see what the Sharks actually do, but that's what I would like to see.
Adam Yurchek, make it happen. Anyways,
Yeah. Couple of things from the locker room quick. Mike Hoffman says he's going to shoot the puck every opportunity he can get. Sometimes he's going to pass it off defensemen. Sometimes he's going to shoot the puck. I mean, Mike Hoffman's really. I have a hard time being mad at Mike Hoffman lately. It's been really difficult. I know for a while, like I had knives out for the guy, but he's he's been good. And if he can raise his, again, if he's a guy that someone might say, hey, this guy scored X number of goals on this crappy San Jose team. If someone else wants to come and, you know, pick up a depth scoring guy for their playoff run, I mean, I think that would be nice for the Sharks.
Ian, your shit list is really running low right now.
It
Maybe
really
except for the
is.
Cuda, because
Yeah, I think
Granlund
the
also.
Cuda are, like,
I think,
also.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
think the
think
Cuda are my
Granlund's
shit
also a guy to
list.
talk about. Like, I think he's leading the NHL in points in like December, unless McDavid did something ridiculously
Just
crazy.
nonsense. Yeah, it's
Just
silly
pure
nonsense.
nonsense right now.
I don't know what's going on with this team. This team makes no sense to me. I mean, we knew this was going to happen at some point, though. Like, this is the way the season ebbs and flows. I mean, I don't know, man. But you know what? I think the most important thing is, like, this is fun to watch.
Oh, absolutely. Like the Sharks are genuinely a fun team right now. Like I'm looking forward to games because I never know what the hell to expect right now.
Yeah.
Like you can base like the Sharks last game scored 2 shorthanded goals in like a matter of 39 seconds. Typically
like,
that
just
would have happened to them.
fun game. I mean, like, I go back this week and I think, like, I know we're not the recap show and I'm not going to try and, like, bite on AJ and Jerk's shtick, but, like, if you look back at the week, I mean, there's, other than maybe the Rangers game, a lot of fun
Even
games
that
this
they
week.
kind of came back from that. Like they made it
Yeah.
interesting. It's not like they're losing like 11-1 or 10-2 again. It's like they're genuinely making it interesting. And I have to give full props to Greer.
Mhm.
Something he said with these guys clicked and it's working. So when the Sharks are back in the playoffs and Greer has to give a pep talk, like that shows leadership by Greer, and I have full respect for Greer right now.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
What else we got here from the locker room? Anytime you lose a couple of guys, we got to rise up to the occasion. I think they're, and again, like you have to give the Sharks credit. I think that they've faced just a crap ton of adversity. I mean, obviously they got off to that start that was pretty terrible, and it was, and you were wondering if like the Sharks would ever like score more than one goal in a week again. And then and this team's been banged up all year. It's like the man games they've lost to injuries. it's like you're waiting for things like Knyzhov goes down, but Thrun comes up, and you've been kind of waiting for like the Sharks is like, oh, they're almost healthy, and then they're gonna have to make some really interesting choices, and that hasn't happened yet. I mean, as much fun as that, I mean, it's good for the Sharks because like there's obviously guys they probably don't want to send through waivers. So I mean, obviously that's good for them, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, like. But at the same time, it gives us fodder for things to talk about, like, oh, what are they going to do in this situation? And like, this is, it's kind of my bag. And
I think this road trip just makes the trade deadline so much more interesting. Because like during that 11-game losing streak, like who the fuck had value on this team? No one.
Yeah.
Maybe Eklund. Like the young kids.
Well, obviously, but Eklund.
But you're not trading Eklund.
You're not trading
that's the
Eklund,
point. Yeah. So like Granlund's building up value. Even though he has 1 year left at 5, I think he's still building up value. Duclair, hopefully he's okay. I know he went down with an injury tonight.
Yeah, and there's no, I think it was, no update on Duclair per Quinn.
There's no update on Duclair. Like Duclair, like these guys, Hoffman, Luke Cunnin, even if I think he comes back, he could be a good trade chip. Banker, but we're going to get to him. He might not have that much value, I'll tell you that much. But like, you know what I mean? Like, right now, it makes the trade deadline so much more interesting. And this team right now is just so much fun to watch. Yeah,
so I know a couple of things in the chat here. Timo Time saying, I don't believe this is a rebuild anymore. Oh, it's still a rebuild, my friend. Enjoy it. Well, I mean, I think the Sharks are playing well, and I think that's good because when the Sharks do good, it's good. However, I don't think like this will turn again.
This is still a rebuild. Also, guys, the Sharks lost 11 in a row. Like at some point, it was gonna have to average out. Like they weren't gonna continue being that bad.
Yeah,
I don't think they would have.
The T saying at this point, the turnaround for most Sharks. I lost you here. Up or down players traded by the deadline, 5 players. I think that's where I would probably set the over-under as 5.
I mean, how many UFAs? Like, it feels like half their forward group is gone next year.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at cap friendly, Greer's going to have a buttload of flexibility going into 2025 or whatever the fuck year we're in right now.
Right.
Like, Greer's going to have so much flexibility at this trade deadline to get as many draft picks, assets, young guys as he humanly can.
Yeah.
The Sharks are in a good place right now, I think, also in their rebuild, where like they've accepted the fate that they're rebuilding and they're actually doing it correctly.
Yeah. Just a couple things here quickly. Kevin Lacey in the chat, Granlund looks like the shackles are off his ankles. He's flying all over the place like he did before he left Minnesota. I agree.
Absolutely.
100%. Injury updates. This is per Shang. Injury updates per Quinn, per Shang, per everyone. Hopes Eklund will be short term. Oh, God, I hope so. No update on Duclair. Doesn't know how long Vlasic will be gone. I mean, so obviously, I don't know what's going on with Vlasic. I know it's personal reasons. Hopefully, it's nothing serious because I think, again, like at the end of the day, Margaret Vlasic, again, not my favorite Sharks player, but a human being.
Yep. And really hoping X and Duclair are short term there.
I mean, obviously, I don't want to see Eklund out for any period of time because, again, like Eklund's made this team a lot of fun. There's a lot of guys that have made this team a lot of fun. Obviously, I think Eklund's been one of them. Zetterlund's so grown on me. Like
I love Zetterlund.
Yeah, me too. Like last season, it was like I just want to see this guy that Devils fans told me to get so jacked about, and it was like, were they trolling me? Like what
him short-handed is an actual monster to handle.
Yeah,
he's going to be a monster on the penalty kill for years to come.
Yeah, I love Zetterlund. Like he's like I get it now, Devils fans. For all you Devils fans that said you guys you don't understand it's gonna be awesome, I get it now. It's gonna be awesome.
No, that Timo trade is looking better and better.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great. Also, like Musty putting up another 2 assists after getting suspended again.
1 second here, I gotta move up here quick. 1 second.
But like a little prospect update, Quentin Musty got suspended again. If the guy stops taking penalties, he's gonna be demolishing the leagues. He put up another 2 assists tonight. So, and Will Smith also had a goal this weekend as well. So more prospect help is coming, guys. Don't worry.
When are they gonna call up Muka Madulin? And that's an interesting player, and I think it's hard because again, like the Sharks have so many D-men. I think Muka Madulin, like as much as I've been super sour on the Barracuda, I've liked Muka Madulin's game for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I really want to see him paired up with Addison.
Yeah, I think, he's a guy, though, that's still getting his first taste of hockey in North America, so I think he's fine in the AHL. I think giving him a full season down there, as much as I'm super sour on the Barracuda right now.
But it's like, also, how long is Daniel Gushin going to last down there? Like, after the trade deadline, Gushin is coming up.
Well, I mean, who do they... If Duclair and Eklund are both multiple games, I mean, they have to call up either Gushkin or Bordeleau again.
Like, I love Ko. I don't think he's getting called up.
I don't think, like, it's funny because last time I went off on Ko, he like went on a tear. I called him AHL.
Say it again, Ian.
And he went on a tear, but
maybe the Cuda will win.
I know he scored last night, but I think he's really. I'm not a big Brandon Ko guy. Like I think he's like he scores in spurts, which is the same for any scorer. I don't know what it is about Brandon Ko. I don't see it.
I really liked him back when he was in juniors. I thought he had potential and he was going to be good. He's big, he's physical. Like he has the tool set. It has not translated whatsoever. Like Lacey, I hate Ko.
Kevin Lacey.
Lacey, how about Nick Cicek?
Oh my God. Firing up Lacey in the chat.
But yeah, no, I mean, but also a guy to look out for, Ozzy. I kind of think he might get a call up at some point. I think maybe McCarthy hates him, but I actually really liked Ozzy.
I love Ozzy Weisblatt. Like Ozzy Weisblatt is like my Barracuda guilty pleasure.
I mean, like, yeah, I've liked Ozzy, so I'm curious if he, after the trade deadline, gets called up. Maybe on the third line with Sturm, who's defensively responsible, give Ozzy like the rights to just run over men.
Yeah, I love Ozzy Weisblatt, but it's true. Like he doesn't seem to stick in the lineup as much as I would like him to.
McCarthy needs to go.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong. We need a Who Does Lacey Hate show. I can make that happen.
Oh, we should do that. Live from Vegas at the draft, Teal Town's going to host Who Does Lacey Hate. It's just going to be like a PowerPoint presentation, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what like it is about Brandon. I wish I could put my finger on it. I don't see it. I think he's probably a fine AHL player. Of all the guys that are down there that, you want to see do big things, I don't think there's an NHL player there. Timo Time saying Ozzy was not worth a first round pick. Ozzy Weisblatt was picked 32nd. He's a glorified second. Like, I get what you're saying, but also, like, he was the 32nd pick. Like,
yeah, he's a glorified second rounder, man. At that point,
if it was like 15th, 16th, sure.
I think there's guys like, there's probably guys on the board. I think like a lot of people point to like JJ Peterka as a guy that they would have liked over Weisblatt. But I think that Weisblatt, a lot of people just look at first round and I think it kind of distorts what
I think Ozzy's play is going to translate in the NHL though. Like I think at some point when he gets the chance, it'll translate and it'll come. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So did you watch the Barracuda this week?
No. I mean, I watched part of it, but then decided to avoid them at all costs. But I did see the score and got very okay. I was at work the last game that they played and I saw like what was going on. Like this Cuda team has so much more potential than what they're giving right now. And I think that's partially due to a coaching change. I'm not going to lie. The forwards are a lot worse this year than they were last year, but that's what happens when you have guys like Eklund graduating up and making the NHL.
Yeah, and then obviously injuries have played a factor. They've definitely lost some teeth on the offense. I think the blue line's better. I think the goaltending is what you would expect from first year pros.
I really like Romano.
Yeah, I do too.
I know he had a rough game.
He did have a rough game last night, but I have liked him. I think Mäkiniemi's looked pretty good since being back, and hopefully his injury woes are behind him. I like the fact that they're kind of getting rotated. you look at Romanov did a stint in the AHL or ECHL, sorry. Corona's currently doing a stint in the ECHL. I don't mind that rotation. I like that better than last year when it was kind of just like McAnemy, Dell, and Straussman got to like rack up the frequent flyer miles. I think it's nice to rotate them
Straussman
around and
has
keep
more
playing.
goals than Vlasic.
That's true.
No, sorry, too early. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm fine with I'm fine with the goalie rotation. I just think they need a coaching change. Jay Woodcroft.
Yeah, but is Jay Woodcroft going to come back and coach our AHL team and give up that
Probably
that
not.
NHL dollars
like,
to do it? No.
But I also don't know if I see them firing McCarthy in the middle of the season.
No,
I
I don't
if they're
think so
going to fire him, it's going to be at the end of the season. And like, who do you replace him with? Brasovsky? No. Because Brasovsky's basically your like saving grace for when the team's good again.
Yeah.
Thoughts
Thoughts
about
about LaRock in the ECHL? Has he even played? I haven't really paid
he's
much
played
attention.
6 games for
6
them.
games
I think
now.
he has 1 assist. I don't know. I'm not super familiar with the Thunder.
Yeah,
but
I think here's the thing, right? The Barracuda, the Sharks, they're both teams that are kind of like, there's a lot of defensive guys. I like Gannon LaRock. I'm not worried that he's in the ECHL right now. I think as soon as like something presents an opportunity to come up to get him regular playing time, I think right now the goal is to just get him regular playing time because he has missed a lot of hockey since being drafted.
like he had a really good D+1 year after draft, and then injuries, he kind of cut the injury bug. So like, give him time. I know he's not putting up the points you might want him to put in the ECHL because he only has 1 assist in 6 games, but give him time. I'm pretty high on the guy. I really like him.
Kevin Lacey says he's a guy. I'm not sure. I don't know if I'd go that far.
He's definitely a guy. I will agree with Lacey. He's definitely a guy, but it's with a lot of the Sharks prospects right now, it's going to be the patient game. And,
I think it's just good to get him playing hockey because, like I said, he's missed a lot of time, so I don't really have a problem. I'd rather him down in the ECHL playing regularly with the Thunder than up on the AHL getting the Aussie Weisblatt treatment.
Honestly, at this point, I'd rather some guys just playing the ECHL rather than that CUDA team. So
I know.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, and the T said that he says something interesting here. He says, like, I do got to say the stick taps to the goalie and the goalie coaches. Personally, I've really questioned them. This season, the goalies have brought their game. Yeah, I don't think goaltending has really been the issue for the Barracuda. Again, I think you're getting goaltending that you'd expect at a first-year pros. I don't think you're expecting the world. I don't think because I don't think Romanov was a guy who has come in and has been a complete surprise. Like, he didn't really have much of a profile coming to North America. I think Corona obviously has a little bit of a higher profile because he was on that very good Denver team that won a national championship. But again, I don't think you're not going to confuse Magnus Corona with like Jesper Wallstedt, right? Like, he's not that level of prospect.
I will say this: the Sharks definitely don't have like that top-notch, like future #1 goalie.
Agreed.
Like, they just don't have that. They have a lot of elite top 6 players coming in, but they don't have that like top 1 future #1 goalie, which is why I think you're seeing them kind of take shots on these random guys they're signing from somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad about it. Maybe one of them hits. With goaltenders, you never really know. It's kind of a shot in the dark.
For sure.
But yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm kind of fine with them. I think, the Barracuda. So for those that don't know, the Barracuda won against Henderson. I thought they played a really good game on Friday, and then Saturday night they're on television.
It was so bad,
and it was really bad.
So bad.
The TV audience got the full Barracuda experience, I think. And you know what? I was kind of worried because I'm like, oh man, they're gonna beat Henderson twice in a row. They're gonna do it on TV, and then like these people that have watched one Barracuda game are gonna come at me and be like, "What are you talking about? This team is fine."
With the CUDA, they just lack any consistency. So they'll come out one night looking like the bet, like very good, very solid, and then the next night they'll lose like 8-0.
Yeah,
there's a lack of consistency. There's a lack of kind of leadership, I think, a little. So the Sharks don't care about the CUDA. Gonna put that out there. They don't.
Yeah.
They have a fun team right now who's doing comebacks basically night in and night out.
Yeah,
fans
and I
are
think
not really care
that's
about
the part that like I think really bums me out about the Barracuda is because like you'll see them like, and not even just inconsistency game to game, inconsistency from period to period. Like, I don't like if the Barracuda get down in a hole I don't expect them to come back. Like,
No.
like compared to this Sharks team that we've watched this last week, and again, this could change, and the Sharks could go back to getting like, murdered.
After we said this, it will.
Right, yeah. We'll say, oh man, the Sharks are doing so good, and they're so great, and then they're gonna get murdered like 10-0 in their next game. I don't know who they play next, but then they get murdered. Someone puts a 10 spot up on them again, and we'll come back to reality. But like this Sharks team, like I feel like it's like you'd want more. The Barracuda team should be the more fun of the two, and they're not. And like I hate that I'm so sour on the Barracuda, but like I feel like. I don't know, man. Like the Bear could have been a chore.
I'm really excited for when I don't know if two of these guys have the right to play for the AHL, but I'm really excited for when Musty, Beasted, and Havlid come over and maybe are able to help out the CUDA team.
So Havlid can't play in the
I don't
AHL
think
ever, basically, because like by the time he can play in the AHL, he should be in the NHL.
Yeah. But like a guy like Musty, I'm excited to see him come over and like maybe play with Gushin down in the AHL after his season's over.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to see that. Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? So like I think
Beasted,
the team will be fun.
I wish was here this year. And it kind of bugs me that, like, I understand sending him back home. Maybe it's, like, a better situation for him. And it worked with Eklund for the most part. I mean, it didn't work out. Like, him being in Sweden didn't really work out for him. He had a really rough year that year when they got relegated.
Yeah.
But, like... But I understood why they sent him back there. Kind of get him more comfortable in his game and then bring him over after a year of getting bigger. Then start getting the North American reps. So I kind of understand why they sent Beasted back, but I kind of wish, like, man, this Barracuda team could use some goals.
I mean, Beasted right now in the SHL has 4 goals, 5 assists, 9 points.
Yeah. And that's
so
Kevin just saying Musty's ineligible. Yeah. Obviously, we're talking.
Oh, like he isn't
season end. Well, no, season end. Like season end.
Oh yeah,
stuff.
once the season ends, I was like, okay,
once the Wolves are done playing. Yeah, that's what we are. That's what we're working on.
But like B said, I see why they sent them back. I think it's going to kind of be like an Eklund situation where they're going to send him back again and then have him juice basically down in the AHL and then they'll call him up at the end. And I think the same thing's going to happen with like Musty, except he's not playing in Sweden. He's going to probably force the Sharks' hand next year.
Michael Molasses. Also another guy who loves to just jerk me out. Everyone thinks I hate Ethan Cardwell. I don't hate Ethan Cardwell. You
cannot hate Ethan Cardwell. He's like the only other good thing about this CUDA team.
Yeah, he is one of the few bright spots on this Barracuda team. I just didn't expect much from him because like I don't know, again, right? Like Ethan Cardwell is a good player. I just didn't expect much from him coming up. But he's been really good, man. He's been great for the Barracuda. He's like again one of the few night in, night out guys that I just like don't make watching this team an absolute chore.
I'm curious where Ethan Cardwell pans out in the NHL. Like I'm genuinely just curious because he's been a lovely surprise. Was not expecting that from him. So
no, you never know how a guy's gonna turn. Like, I don't think he wasn't like a super point getter in. I need to look just to fact check myself. But I think
he had a very good overage season last year.
Right, yeah, but other than that, like there wasn't a lot there that would be like, oh, this is gonna, translate super well for offense anyway. But I was
not expecting the offense.
Yeah. Like I didn't think the offense would translate to pro. But so far so good.
Cardwell last year in the OHL with the Barrie Colts had 43 goals, 47 assists, 90 points, and then the year before that he had 23 goals, 35 assists, 58 points. He also is a playoff beast.
Yeah. No, like that. Like I love this kid. Like again, he's more like the guys on the Barracuda that I like. I mean, I think they all have something in common. If you look at like a guy like Ethan Cardwell, a guy like Ozzy Weisblatt, like these guys work their asses off.
They work their asses off, and they're the type of players I think Greer also really likes. Because they're very good when come playoff time, Cardwell and Ozzy are going to be the guys to bury some probably crucial goals for the Sharks. I'm calling it now. Yeah. Like they're just the hardworking, hard-nosed type guys.
Sleepy asking, weird that there wasn't any news about Tristan Robbins since October until a few days ago. No, that's not surprising at all.
The teal curtain, my friend.
Yeah, the teal curtain is real. The Barracuda especially do not give us any information about anything. And so... I'm not surprised that it's, Tristan Robbins is almost back. And, or could have, people were saying he might have even been back as soon as yesterday's game. I'm really looking forward to seeing Tristan Robbins back. I think it's going to give the CUDA a must-needed shot in the arm, especially on the power play, which has been pretty brutal.
Like the CUDA miss Robbins. I did not realize how crucial this man was to this team, but like the CUDA need Robbins.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's not to say like I don't like saying like Cardwell and Weisblatt, like those guys are my guys, but like, I still like Bordelot. I know I was really harsh on him at the beginning of the season, but I think he's kind of found his swagger again, which is what he said he needed to find when he went back to the AHL. I've always been a Daniel Gushkin guy.
We love Daniel Gushkin.
I hope that one of those guys is going to get a call up. Even though it would suck for the Barracuda because again, like Tristan Robbins is going to come back and he's going to be like, who's going to play with me?
Nathan Todd, Scott Sabrin.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, I'm upset that I'm this sour on the Barracuda, but I think that at the end of the day, like, I just feel like they're just a frustrating team to watch. And I have to question at this point how much of it is coaching. And I think it's a lot of it.
I think a good part of it is coaching. Like, I'm not going to lie. I feel like you can get still a lot more out of this team than what you're getting in right now. Yeah. I'm hoping they make a coaching change at the end of the year.
Me too. I think if they don't make a coaching team at the end of this year, I think then I'm going to have some questions. Like, I understood, like, you kind of knew going into before, like under the previous regime, right? Like Ray Sommer was just never going to get fired. And it was just something that we just accepted. As fact, right? But like with Mike Greer coming in, being different, like I can't see again, like this team.
Greer seems to hate losses that are based. I think any GM, but Greer in particular seems like a no, like you're gonna be fired if you're not doing your job. You
right.
know what I mean?
And I think that like I think that the Barracuda, with just the way that they play and how they're kind of, they're just kind of a mess. And I just feel like after 2 seasons of that, if you can't make changes, like I wanted to give John McCarthy a chance coming into this season, because I think, look at, this is a league where coaches cut their teeth, right? So, to give him give him the benefit of the doubt. Okay, let's see what he learned. But so far, doesn't seem like it's been a hell of a lot.
It hasn't much. And I'd be very shocked if he's not out at the end of the year. And I think Greer's honestly going to make that change.
Yeah.
Seeing how Greer is working right now. Also, someone asked when are World Juniors. I don't remember the exact dates, but I can tell you a lot of Sharks prospects are playing in the World Juniors.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly when they start.
Yeah.
Boxing Day, I think, 26th?
Yeah. But I think
right? I don't know. That's
Smith made the U.S. team. Oh my God, I'm blinking.
Were you surprised Musty didn't get to the U.S. camp?
I kind of saw that coming. There were rumors spiraling, but I think he's going to make it next year. I am kind of shocked Jake Furlong made it to the Canada camp. Very underrated prospect. Someone to keep an eye out. Watch out for Jake Furlong. Sharks will
I love this. So, John Swenson in the chat. Ian and Jules put $28 on the Sharks to win a cup during the Formula One race in Vegas. Odds were 1 to 1,000 at the time. The guy at the counter felt so bad for me. He gave me a couple of drink coupons. That's great.
I love that.
That's amazing. Sleepy Mofo Sharks organization will reassign McCarthy to a new role, a la Tim Burke. Maybe. I mean, look at this is a guy that they, I think this is a guy that the organization does like, but I don't know, man. Like to me, the Barracuda, like, I don't think the Barracuda should be like a Calder Cup contender or anything crazy like that this year, but I think they should be better than their record. And I think that, or you could take actually a lesson from the big club and lose better. You're not going to, like, I don't think that this team is like a Calder Cup team. So I don't think, but I think when 7 teams out of 10 make the playoffs in the Pacific Division in the AHL, the Barracuda not being a playoff team 2 years in a row, I think is unacceptable.
Yeah. So like, if there's no coaching change, I'm not going to be happy about that. Like, we're going to see how this year plays out, but like, I don't know, at the end of the day, when the Sharks are more fun than the CUDA, that's not something I thought would have happened like a month ago.
No, I'm so bitter. So better. I did okay. We did.
And as we say this, the Cuda will go on a 12-game winning streak, and we will all look like
I want
fools.
nothing more. Like again, like the Cuda's the team that we want to like. I want these teams to kind of be doing the reverse, right? Like even if the Barracuda were like, even if they had like the Sharks record, but they're more fun to watch, like and they weren't just frustrating. And it's like because there was a game, I think what the Wednesday game maybe. And like I had my hand like they were up and they almost choked it away, and I had my hand over the mat ready to just be like, I'm done with this team this season. Like I'm done. Hand was like hovering the mat. So I don't know. Pimo time, why not give Richie a coaching job? I know he's in the organization somewhere. I don't know if he wants to coach.
Give Jumbo the job. I'm kidding.
Oh Jesus Christ, Jules, don't do this. Don't get them started. I don't know. I think like we've been at this for like 40 minutes. So yeah, definitely. I don't know how much of the game we talked, but we kind of just talked about everything else we want to talk about. So for those that are just tuning in, the Sharks lost 5-4 in a shootout. It was an okay game. It was fun. Yeah, like they have to at least be good until the Ulster game. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. I don't know who they're sending. I'm assuming Gushin, if you're talking about the AHL one, but I'm assuming Gushkin is going to be the All-Star representative.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Look I know people are gonna I know we're getting to the point now where people are gonna start stressing about points. I'm not, man. When the Sharks do good, it's good. I'll let everything else.
I will remind you guys, the top 2 picks are from Boston. Greer's getting one of the top 2 picks from Boston. If not Celebrini, then Yzerman, my dudes.
Yeah, neither are. Super happy. Any final thoughts, Jules, before we get out of here? And
the Sharks gotta stop with these ridiculous comebacks. Hey, but Steve Dangle is now a Sharks truther for those who missed it.
Oh, there we go. John Swenson, $5 super chat. We always appreciate it, and I have to say it. Joe Thornton for Barracuda head coach. You heard it here first. I mean, I guess.
Sure.
I'm not on this team, but for $5, I will say it on the show. It is all good. Oh, I didn't even have the thing. I forgot to update the scroll. The shots on goal aren't right, so there's that. Sorry, guys. Yeah, again. So look at. I'm gonna get us out of here because this show has gone on long enough. There is a puppy eating my chair. I am not gonna have a chair to sit on pretty soon.
We see Ian doing After Dark from the floor after a game,
standing,
just standing
in front of my
killed
desk.
Me. Yeah.
Look at again. So we apologize. Obviously, AJ Hockey Jerk. Hopefully, we'll be back by next Sunday. But we'll play it by ear. Obviously, again, AJ, we're all thinking about you right now. So we hope you're good soon. Again, if you missed it, you want to watch this again on the YouTube channel. You can also find us on any of your favorite podcatchers. If you get a podcast somewhere, you can find us. But aside from that, guys, we super appreciate you guys being here, and we will see you on the next one. Have a good night.